Donald Trump's campaign is on the defensive this morning after a week full of controversies. In comments broadcast Sunday, Trump stirred up a feud with the family of a Muslim soldier killed in Iraq. In the same interview, he seemed to deny Russia's military involvement in Ukraine. His comments Monday about sexual harassment sparked a backlash.
On Tuesday, Trump refused to endorse House Speaker Paul Ryan or Senator John McCain in their primaries. And by Wednesday, Trump had lost the support of 2 Republican congressmen and a prominent donor. Trump denied any trouble yesterday in Florida.
So I just want to tell you the campaign is doing really well. It's never been so well united. And we started on June 16th. I would say right now it's the best in terms of being united that it's been since we began. We're doing incredibly well. We're leading in the state of Florida.
Paul Manafort is chairman of the Trump campaign. Paul, good morning.
Morning.
This is interesting. And Newt Gingrich has said if he has more weeks like this, it's going to be too far gone in order to catch up. Ben Weber said he wouldn't vote for Clinton. Karl Rove said that if he had more weeks like this, as I said, there's a range of friendly fire taking place at this time that suggests that it may be slipping. Time is of the essence, and more weeks like this may make it impossible to catch up.
Well, that's not true. I mean, there's plenty of time. We're in the first week of August. Usually campaigns in historical terms don't even start until September. We're using August as a very aggressive month, however. Mr. Trump yesterday was in Florida, crowds of 15,000 people. Those are October crowds in many campaigns. We've announced all of our 50 state directors this week. Everybody's deployed and working. We raised a record amount of money last month, $80 million, with no bills. So this is all cash on hand. So no, we're feeling comfortable. I mean, what we are concerned, we're comfortable about where we are organizationally. What we're not comfortable with is the narrative that the media seems to be taking, which is building a storyline that the Democrats are controlling the race. And we feel comfortable if you look at our messages. This is going to be an election about change, and all of the polls.
But even you're not talking about change. You're talking about, the Khan family. You're talking about a whole range of things that are not about change and are not about issues.
Well, we were talking about change yesterday, and we will be for the rest of this week. And next week we'll be talking about our economic plan. The Khan family situation. Mr. Trump was trying to talk about the fact that they were caught up in something bigger than them. And yes, he was sorry about the loss of their son, as we all are. But what he was trying to talk about was the war and the rise of ISIS.
But would you agree, Paul, that this has been a very bad week for the Trump campaign? And how are you guys able to ignore the drop in poll numbers and the defections that are happening?
Well, the drop in poll numbers were expected. I mean, the Democratic
This big of a
convention,
drop was expected?
The drop in this big a drop depends on which poll you look at. We feel like in another week or so, the polls are going to even out. We always thought that. We had a bounce. We knew that the Democrats would have a bounce. And now you see in the situation what looks like an uneven field. But in 2 weeks, we think that's going to even out if we're out there on our message, which we will be. The framework of this election favors Donald Trump. If we run the campaign that we plan on running, we think we're going to win. We don't plan on winning in August. We plan on winning in November, and that will become evident as the campaign deploys. There's a lot going on at the local levels that you're not seeing.
But he doesn't seem to appear to stay on message, though. Isn't that an issue for you?
Well, the thing is, you nitpicked what he says, and if he, like the other day, he was talking about a strong message on what's going on with this $400 million in Iran, which is an outrageous amount of money that was paid for the 4 hostages that probably went right straight to the terrorists. I mean, it was cash. You gave $400 million in cash to the Iranians, the harbor of terrorism. You can only imagine where that money went.
In that same rally where he got on message, hitting the Obama administration on that point, he also went off message and sort of rehashed some old controversies, including the split with Fox News host Megyn Kelly. I mean, he went back to talking about the blood coming out of her whatever. Was it helpful, do you think, for Mr. Trump yesterday to clarify which part of her body he meant when he said that?
Look, there's a responsibility on both parts, the media and the campaigns. I mean, everybody understood what the real messages were in that speech. And it was talking about the Iranian situation, it was talking about the cash. I was talking about the decisions that...
I mean, but do you watch that speech and go, oh, no, the headline was going to be on the $400 million in that attack. Why did he have to go there? Why did he have to freelance on these issues and rehash these old controversies?
we feel confident that as the issues are being heard at the local levels, and they're not necessarily getting reported at the national levels, but there's also local media coverage too.
Let me ask
Let
you
me- yeah, go
specifically about Mr. Trump not endorsing Paul Ryan. It's the front page of many of the papers today. And then his vice presidential running mate disagreeing with him and saying, I strongly support Paul Ryan. Let me ask you, you're a Republican, a lifelong Republican, a loyal one. Do you support Speaker Ryan's reelection?
Look, I'm chairman of the campaign, and as chairman of the campaign, we have a campaign position of not getting involved in primaries. Paul Ryan is a close personal friend of Mike Pence. Paul Ryan nominated Governor Pence at the Republican convention for vice president. Donald Trump understood that relationship, and of course, you know,
But you're a lifelong Republican. I mean, you've served presidents in the past for years. I mean, do you support Speaker Paul Ryan?
Well, I support him as a speaker, and I know after next week I'm going to be supporting him as a candidate for president too. I mean, for.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there is talk,
There's
there
a
is talk
story.
about that.
Please talk into the microphone.
So Donald Trump is getting out of the election and Paul Ryan jumping in?
There is that rumor,
Here we
Paul
go, starting
Manafort, that he's
another
getting
rumor.
out.
Starting another rumor.
What will it take for him to endorse Paul Ryan? What will it take for Donald
Well,
Trump
that's
to endorse
done.
Paul
That's
Ryan?
done.
He's going to support Paul Ryan. I mean, he does support Paul Ryan. He said he's going to work with Paul Ryan. So there's no issue about that. He didn't take a position in the primary. He said he's not taking a position in many primaries. That's not the news. The news is the two of them working together to elect a Republican Congress and a Republican president, and I think you're going to see that.
Can I just ask you this question in terms of your previous role? I spent a fair amount of time as a reporter with Vladimir Putin in terms of an interview, maybe 5 hours we were together. He constantly said to me, the CIA and others were responsible for the overthrow of Yanukovych in Ukraine, in Kiev. Do you believe he's right on that? You know Yanukovych.
I
He
think
was your
that's a
client.
long conversation. I think that the machinations of Ukraine deal with a lot of geopolitics.
So
And
America was involved, you think, in the Yanukovych overthrow?
to say they were, I think the people overthrew the Yanukovych, but there was a lot more going on in that country. I don't think that Yanukovych was the pro-Putin person that he's reputed to be. And if you look at what...
Well, he ended up in Moscow.
Well, yeah, but not in a good place. And the situation in Ukraine is, the geopolitics that are very interesting if you look at. But the Ukraine is in Europe today, and it's in Europe today because of an agreement that was negotiated primarily by Yanukovych, and frankly, that I was the principal person working to do it.
You're right, it's a conversation for another time. Thank you, Paul.
I think we should get back to your saying that Donald Trump is going to endorse Paul Ryan for president. I think that was very interesting.
Well, he has said he's not yet prepared to do it. He
Yeah.
didn't rule it out, correct?
What's that?
No, not
Endorsing
president,
Paul
not
Ryan.
president.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah,
president.
yeah,
but
yeah.
for
No, I'm going to get in trouble on that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, Paul Manafort.
Okay.
We like having you at the table. Thank you very much for coming in today.